I'm dreaming in dreams bigger than me, taking my time, giving to me.
Hello everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Ash Elizabeth, and if you haven't yet, make sure to click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a book review. So this novel is called We Are All Broken People, written by Milo Moser. And I absolutely loved this book, and I'm really excited to review it for you guys and talk to you about it. But before I get started, I do have to let you guys know this is a young adult book, so if you're triggered by mental health topics of abuse, addiction, self-harm, it will be difficult for you to read. And it's also a very intense book, so if you're like under 15 years old, I would recommend not reading it yet. We're All Broken People is one of the most interesting books that I have ever read, and that is coming from a girl who has read a lot of books. The writing style is different than anything that I've really ever read, which was a little bit confusing to follow at first, but once I got into it, it was really neat. It was like a breath of fresh air from a more traditional style of writing, which I really enjoyed. This book is set in episodes, and this is the first volume that has the first 6 episodes. It's really interesting the way it's formatted. It's very unique, it's really interesting, and there are new characters, new storylines that are introduced as it goes on in every page. Each chapter or episode also introduces new characters and new storylines, and they all end up coming together in the end in a really interesting way. And it truly amazes me how the author could blend so many characters and so many storylines and stuff into a pretty short novel and somehow make it all make sense. I was really impressed by that. And by literally the first few pages of the novel, almost all of the main characters were introduced. So there's Harlan, Jacob, Scarlett, Marcus, Ian, I hope I'm saying his name right, May, Elvira, Gabrielle, Cindy. So the main characters that we were introduced to in the first few pages of the novel are Harlan, Jacob, Scarlett, Marcus, Ian, May, Elvira, Gabrielle, Cindy, Finley, and Parker. So each of the characters lives their own life in a completely different way, but they all collide together in some way. So a lot of them meet at play auditions, which was the first chapter. A lot of them are at the school together, and they all just kind of end up spending time together, and they all come together in the end at this big party that wraps up the book. And the party at the end is where the novel just completely flips and turns around, and my jaw was hanging out of my mouth. It was crazy plot twist. It was really, really interesting. And one of the things that I loved about the novel is that as you get deeper into it, you learn more about each character. For example, in the first few pages, through Ian's eyes, the character Harlan is this huge joke and a school bully. But once it goes on one side Harlan's head, you learn that he's actually heavily troubled and he's fighting with his own inner demons. So it's really interesting seeing how each character is different through the other people's eyes and what is really going on with them. And during the 4th episode, which is the big party, even more characters were introduced, and there was a lot of tension and drama with different people and their relationships. So Gabrielle, who's one of my favorite characters, her ex-boyfriend Finley comes back hoping to rekindle their relationship, and he had hurt her really badly in the past, but she still ends up kind of falling back in love with him. And then she learns later that he actually blames himself for everything and is struggling with mental health and hurting himself. So they end up having an intimate relationship because she tries to go back into him, but there's just a lot of stuff in their past that wasn't really resolved. So that was really interesting to read, and it was written really well. And when another main character, Jacob, arrives at his girlfriend Scarlett's house, he's all covered in bruises, and he kind of awkwardly tells her that he had been in a fight, and she was really suspicious. She was I don't want to date someone who I think is lying, getting into fights. But then once we get a glimpse into what actually happened to Jacob, it is really shocking what had actually happened to him. It was definitely one of those moments that made my mouth drop. So overall, I think We're All Broken People is a really beautiful story, and it exemplifies how truly broken all people can be through life's ups and downs, through their trauma and their triumphs. Everyone is struggling with something, and it's okay that they hurt and they feel bad, and this book really made me feel that. One that I definitely recommend for young adults. Okay, and this novel ends on a massive cliffhanger. I audibly gasped when I got that last line. I definitely am super excited to read the second edition and see what happens. So if you're interested in checking out this book, go to the description of this video and click the link to the Amazon page where you can purchase it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.
Slow down, you crazy child, and take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while.